Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. This is the completed shadow design. It's the first shadow I've ever built. I've had the design for years, but never had a shop to actually build one. So I will show from different angles, up close, so you can see the details and all that stuff. This is it. I've got a Nazgul pickup in there from Seymour Duncan. That is a hip shot bridge. Tried to center the pickup as much as possible. There's no pick-up ring on these things. I try to avoid those things. I like to give the customer, the player, so you can see that the routing is nice and clean. There's nothing to hide there. Now, if you ever see a pickup ring on any of my guitars, that means I'm trying to cover something up. Not necessarily for all builders, but for me, that's the way I think. So there you go. We have the ebony fretboard that we chose on this one. Get in here to some details that you can see. The fret work, you actually saw me do it on a live stream. I still have to, I forgot I didn't put the strap buttons in yet. Here's the peg head. And there it is. That's the first Shadow 6 I've ever built. First Shadow period I've ever built. Serial number 13. This is the volute on the neck. Here's the maple neck. Here's the mahogany body. I do my best to line these up perfectly. The best way that I've found to do it is to make a template and try, because if you try freehanding it like I've done on some of my other guitars, it doesn't look that good. Oh yeah, let me get a guitar pick here and I'll show you how to open these control cavity covers. Just pop a pick in there and you pop it out. I thought about let me show you something real quick before we get into the electronics. On this guitar, this was like I think serial number 4 or something like that. I put a little notch there so you could put your finger in to pop them out. However, I think that looks kind of trashy and ugly, and I don't have a good way to do it, honestly. And it just doesn't look as clean. I mean, it's still pretty clean work, but it could be better, right? So that's why I decided to just stop doing that. And all guitar players have a pick anyway. So you just put your pick in there, pop it out, and then you got a nice clean look. No screws, nothing like that. So we'll pop that off and take a look. So I've got shielding on the back. These are 3 magnets inlaid into the back. This is the serial number, 013-102422. That means guitar serial number 13, built on October 24th, 2022. This is, I'm not the best solderer in the world, but I've got nice shiny solders. That is all that copper tape, that's just shielding. And that's actually a pretty nice piece of mahogany there. This is where the strap button's gonna go, in the back. I'm probably gonna regret that because on some other guitars, I've taken it out and put it in the top here, but we'll see how it goes. That's it. So you guys wanna hear how it sounds? Well, I can't do that until tomorrow. I just put the strings on it. I'm letting the guitar get used to the strings. And then tomorrow, after all the strings are stretched out, I can manually stretch them. Now, let me see what I can do for you. Not even in tune. The strings are still stretching, but we won't worry about that right now. It's not exactly in tune. Strings are still stretching. I literally just put the strings on it and set up the saddles. I didn't even mess with the truss rod yet. Anyway, that is how the guitar sounds. It feels extremely nice. It's, okay, so a lot of people like real thin necks. A lot of people prefer a chunkier neck. Well, these necks, let me draw a picture for you and I'll explain to you how these necks are great for both of those people. And let me show you what I mean. All right, so if we were to take the neck and cut it straight in half, most necks would be like a C shape or a D shape, right? More like this or more like that. Well, the necks that I make, they're more like this. So this is the bass side. They're a little bit fatter at the bass side, but then on the treble side, they're thin. So they're asymmetrical. So when you're playing on the treble side of the guitar, it's always going to be thinner and easier. It's just more ergonomical, and that it's not this extreme as a chunkiness, but it's more like this, right? Terrible drawing, but I think you get the idea. It's good for everybody. Also, some people were asking about scraps. So there you go. I put them on eBay starting at 99 cents. Of course, you got to pay for shipping for a large flat rate box, but there's like 14 pounds of hardwood from these guitars. If you're interested, I'll put a link down below. So since we have the Shadow assembled, we can go ahead and start assembly on the Succubus, I believe. And this guy here still, I'm letting it cure for a full day. And then tomorrow I'm gonna spray again and let it cure for probably another 2 days. And then I'm gonna attempt to level this guy. It turned out pretty decently though. Let me see if I can get it in the light for you. You can see that it's a thin layer of nitrocellulose on there, but right there is a drop fill is needed. You can see those little pits. So I gotta fill those with some, and right there at the tip at the end. Basically, drop fill means take some really thick, dried out lacquer that's very gummy and just drop it in there and let it sit overnight. And you let it dry for a day or two, and then you can spray over it and sand it. So that's where we're at with this guy here. This will be last for assembly. So we'll go ahead and hang that up, and we can take this over to the bench. I think we're good to take this guy over to the bench and set it up. All right, so to assemble this thing, the first thing we need to do is take it off sticks for both the neck and the body. But first, we're just gonna go ahead and do the body first. What I like to do is everything in my control cavity. I like to do all my shielding. I like to shield the back of this. I already have the magnets inlaid. All we have to do is shield this, put in our electronics, run our wires, put our pickup in, put our ferrules in, and yeah, let's just go through the process here. And so the first thing is I like to make sure that my clutch is at about 9. That way it's not gonna strip anything out. We don't wanna be blasting stuff in. We just wanna be nice and gentle from here on out. So for installing these string ferrules, they're just, this is all they are, little black pieces of steel. We don't have to turn the drill press on. I'm just using it as an arbor press. presses them straight down. It is satisfying to watch though. Right. So this is copper shielding tape. I'm just going to trace the control cavity with a razor blade. I don't have any fingernails, so it's hard for me to peel this. Just stick it on. There we go. And then I'll just do the same thing for this little part here. And then we'll do the same thing for the inside of the control cavity itself. So here along the edge, we have some overlap and stuff. It's not perfect, so we're gonna go ahead and sand that off. This little hole right here, this is an 1/8 inch hole that's drilled from under the bridge that goes into the control cavity. The reason that is there is so that we can ground the bridge. So I'm just gonna take a little scrap of this copper foil tape. I'm gonna fold it in half like this. And I'm gonna peel it off and put it down in there. That way we have something to solder our wire to, right? All right, so I just used the template that I used to route this out, to cut out a bottom piece for this control cavity. This stuff is tricky to work with, but it has to be done. The shielding prevents interference from other electrical devices like lights and stuff. All right, this is the trickiest part, probably of the entire thing. The entire guitar is shielding the inside of this cavity while having complete control over this stuff. So the best way to do it is to kind of wrap it up so everything fits flat down in here. And then just pick a spot, push it up against the side, and then kind of unpeel it and push at the same time. All right, once that's installed, all the little corners I like to snip like this, and then bend them down like this. A slice is always looking better than a crumbled up piece. This process just takes some patience, which I don't have much of, so. All right, now I just got to find the pickup holes. There's one there. I know there's that small 1/8 inch hole somewhere around here. We'll find it from the other side. Also, I have to poke through the volume. There we go. Also the output jack. I'm gonna cut that with a razor blade though. Just cut around and remove what we don't need instead of just pushing it up against the side. Just remove the piece. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and solder these two pieces together. And any seams that we see, I'm just gonna go ahead and solder those just to keep a good connection there. It's supposed to be, the glue is supposed to make it all connect, but I don't really trust it as much as solder. So I'm just gonna put little dots of solder where I think it's needed, especially along the bottom corners. All right, the next step is the maker's mark. So I have to basically put the serial number in here. So the serial number for this one is gonna be 11. So this is a 0. I'm gonna put 0, 1, 1 for 11. And then it's October 26th, so 10/26/22. Yeah, I need to improve my stamping skills, but we've got 0, 1, 1, 102622. All right, next we're gonna install the pickup. All right, for this one, I picked up a boutique product. This is a pickup made by a company called Lace. And these things are supposed to be awesome. And we're gonna find out. So they're very, very light. They look really awesome. This one is called Death Bucker. I know you can't read it there because of the lighting, but we'll go ahead and install this thing. Send our wires down through the hole. First, we need foam underneath it. It's just some high density rubber foam with a self-adhesive on the back. So to make sure it's gonna fit in there. Looks like it will. Trim it up a little bit. Make it nice and straight, nice and centered. Okay, so since I don't use a pickup ring to cover up any mistakes, I have to center this thing perfectly. The best way that I know to do that is to just take some cards and put in an even stack on each side, and then just keep adding cards until it doesn't move. I'll put 2 on this side, 2 on this side, right? And just get it to where it doesn't move anymore. The cards are gonna act as a pressure clamp. There we go, this thing is not moving, so now we just have to drill our holes with a 1/16 inch bit, and then we can screw these in. All right, so because I do this a different way than anybody that I know, most people have a pickup ring and they use the pickup ring and the springs and all that. All I use is a piece of foam underneath and a wood screw straight down into the wood. Problem is, all the wood screws are too long, so I trim them back about 1/4 inch. Just like this. And then that way they don't go through the back of the guitar. Otherwise they would. That wood is super hard. That is ash. It's the same stuff they make baseball bats out of. So I'm gonna take my freshly cut screws, which now don't have a tip. I'm gonna dip them in some, this is actually toilet bowl wax. All right, my battery in my phone died, so this is the progress I made in the last 20 minutes. I just put in the electronics. This Lace pickup I had to actually check to see how to wire it because I've never done it before. The white one, when you're doing a single humbucker, it's just no connection, so I just put a piece of heat shrink on the end of it. The orange wire is hot. The green, of course, and the black and white are ground. Everything's all wired up. Got the output jack installed. As you can see, it's backwards. All I did is I took a regular output jack plate and flip it upside down, and then it fits perfectly in here. And now we just got to screw that in and put the neck on. Then the neck is going to fit in the pocket just like this. So I'll take my neck ferrules. I'll just put them in these little holes that I made, these countersunk ferrule holes for the neck. And these will fit right in there. Neck screws, I'll dip them in some toilet bowl wax. Toilet bowl wax is to prevent, it's lubrication to prevent it from splitting. All right, there we go. Nice. That's a reverse headstock 6-string succubus. And there we go. Just making sure the neck pocket is seated correctly. No gaps or nothing. And we're good to go. Now we can put the bridge on. So the back of these bridges, let me see if I can get this on camera. The back of these bridges have some kind of a finish on it from the factory. That, I don't know if it's conductive or not. So what I do is I like to sand the bottom of every bridge to make connection with that ground wire. I have all the string holes lined up. The only thing I don't have, I have to pre-drill for the bridge screws themselves. All right, she's calling me for dinner, so I have to stop here. Right now, I'm just making a nut right here. It's gonna fit perfectly in there. That's gonna happen tomorrow. And also the switch on this thing, it doesn't work. So I got a replacement switch. I have to switch that out tomorrow. But for tonight, we're gonna go ahead and call it. We got one completed guitar, and we got this one pretty much almost got strings on it. The only thing we have to do is put the tuning machines in, cut the nut, put the strings on, tune it up, set the bridge, intonation, strap buttons, and that's it. Oh, and the knob. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.